My next guest takes on Diego Sanchez coming up here at UFC 228 on September 8th. It is Craig White joining me here on the program for the very first time. Craig, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Thank you for asking. How are you? You all right?
I'm doing great, man. I appreciate you taking the time. So what does today look like so far? It's about 2:30 in the afternoon UK time. What'd you get up to today?
Just training so far. I mean, I've already done about 2, 3 sessions this morning. So like MMA session, strength conditioning session, had a mobility session. Got a few hours downtime, then I've got the same again this evening. So I've got a pretty fun-packed day for the rest of the day. And that's basically my schedule.
Well, and I was going to say, aside from doing interviews, what does your downtime sort of look like in between training sessions? I know some fighters, they like to play video games or they're watching Netflix. What's sort of your go-to thing for downtime?
It tends to vary. I mean, I'm still working full time, so at the moment I've got some days off, but I'm back at work tomorrow. So my downtime between training for the rest of the week is going to be working in an office for a few hours.
Okay, what do you do for work?
I work in financial services, so I deal with pensions and like wealth administration.
Okay.
The complete opposite to
No, it's like a Clark Kent thing, right? Like you're doing the financial thing during the day and you're a fighter by night. That sounds pretty cool. Just out of curiosity, how are your coworkers in terms of what you do for a living? Because I know, people in our bubble, we get fighting, but people outside of the bubble don't really understand it too much. How have they been receiving you?
They tend to understand it quite well. I've been there for about a year and a half now, and they've been with basically throughout my like Cage Warriors wins, my UFC debut. They've been around it also. Although they don't necessarily follow the sport as much as most people, they do tend to understand exactly what's going on a bit more.
Okay.
And that's mainly through working with me, asking me a lot. But I mean, my job, they're very supportive. The fact I was able to get some time off to prepare for this fight, the minute I got offered it, and I've been doing that since. And then, yeah, I can't express the gratitude I've had for the sport more than I could even imagine, really. It's just been great.
Well, and I'm sure that also takes off some of the financial pressure as well, being a fighter, because some fighters, if they're all in, that's their only paycheck unless they have sponsors. And for you have the outside job, so I'm sure that makes things a little bit. I know it's difficult to balance the schedule, but I'm sure it also makes things a little bit easier.
Yeah, I've got that like financial security, so I know that if I haven't got a fight coming up, I've still got the income coming in. And I find as well, like it breaks up the day nicely because you could train all day every day, but then when your body's just going to get messed over, you're going to be tired, and it gives a good bit of a balance between like mental stimulation, getting the social atmosphere and the social environment that you get from a workplace.
Yeah.
And it just allows me to do that as well as train. And I find by doing it, I appreciate my training time a lot more because it's got to be so planned and so structured that when I train, I have to train. I can't half-arse it. I just need to put my all into it. But at the moment, getting the good balance of having a few days off where I can train a bit harder, get away training a bit, rather than kind of working in between my hours at work. It does help a hell of a lot.
First time fighting in the U.S. You pretty excited about that? Getting to rack up some frequent flyer miles.
Yeah, I didn't expect to be going over to the States anytime soon. Like the FC, I thought I'd be kind of stuck doing the European shows, which was more than happy to do. I love fighting in Europe. I love fighting abroad. I love getting to travel. So the fact I get to go stateside for this one, it's going to be a hell of an experience, and I'm really looking forward to it.
So that's the first half of this, and the second half is you're fighting Diego Sanchez. I mean, that's pretty badass. What was your reaction when you found out that you'd be fighting him?
I literally phoned my coach and was like, I'd already like messaged him saying, "Oh look, we've been offered a fight. This is the date and that," and we're like just going, right, well, do you reckon we can do it? Like, yeah. Who's your opponent? And the minute I got told on the phone, I was like, it's fucking Diego Sanchez. And I mean, I've been a fan of Diego for years. I've been saying it for the last few weeks. I mean, he's a great fighter. Everyone who knows the sport knows Diego Sanchez and knows what he's accomplished, what he's capable of, just how experienced he is. And I followed him for years. And the fact I get to fight him in my second UFC fight, it's like, to say it's like a dream come true would be just very minimal words for it. I mean, I wouldn't even have expected to have been given the opportunity to fight him. So the fact I'm getting that chance is just, I just can't even put it into words.
And this is going to be sort of your first official UFC fight, because you had that short notice fight against Neil Magny, which, a lot of people wouldn't have taken that matchup, and you had to cut a ridiculous amount of weight, I should say. How much did you have to cut to make that welterweight limit?
It was 21 kilos, which I think is about 46 pounds.
Wow. It's like half a person.
So I did that 12 days notice, which wasn't ideal, but I mean, what are you going to do when you get the call? Just turn it down and then spend the next few weeks thinking, what if?
Yeah.
Watch someone else get in there and get that chance. You'd be like, oh, I could have done that. I mean, it's my own fault for being as heavy as I was, but I paid the price for it. I did the horrible cut. That had a massive factor in the fight when I was getting caught with body shots, and that's what it is. But with a full camp this time, it's going to be completely different. Like, my training's on another level. My energy levels are completely different. Like my fitness, my strength, everything's just all ticking over nicely, exactly where it needs to be. Whereas last time, I basically was coming in after not really training from my fight before. I was having a bit of downtime, catch up with friends, family, doing stuff most weekends. So that opportunity came at the wrong time. But like I said, you're not going to say no to it. So it would have been stupid to pass it up.
Is there anything else you take away from that performance other than the brutal weight cut? Was there anything you look back at watching the fight, you're like, I shouldn't have done that?
Not really. It took me about a month to watch back on the fight. So it's like, there's not really much to take from it. I didn't have any grappling, any sparring training. The whole thing was weight cut from start to finish, just hitting pads on the exercise bike and the sweatsuit, just getting as much off as I can, as quickly as I can. When I did watch it, I think I was a bit happy with the performance than I thought I did. But yeah, at the end of the day, I got caught. I got beat by a good fighter. I thought I put in a good account on myself. I've seen mixed things from other people where they think I did terrible. Some people thought I did all right, but everyone's entitled to their opinion. But from what I remember of the fight to what I saw back, I was more impressed with myself than I thought I was on the day. But I felt really comfortable in there. So although Neil Magny's like top 10 guys, like amazing, I didn't feel out of my depth at all in that fight. I just got caught and I got beat.
And obvious question for this camp, how is the weight right now? Now that you've had a full camp, I mean, I'm sure you've been slowly getting down to the weight limit.
My weight's been fine. I mean, the minute I got the call, I was at 90 kilos. So for me, normally I'll be walking around a bit heavier at that point. So without even trying and just upping my training and having more structure at that point, my weight was a lot more manageable. So for the time it's been going down nicely. Like, I've got good energy levels still, like a week and a half out, whereas normally I'd be dying on my arse a bit right now. And I'm getting good, lots of training in. Like, I was up sparring with Jack Marshman last night, and all the boys at his gym, and I was getting some good rounds in, which is exactly what you need, especially at this point. Just making sure you're getting what you need in whilst you can and making it effective.
Yeah, and normally, I'd ask the fighter, what, as far as traveling, because obviously it's a bit of a distance to get to Texas. Would you alter your weight cut at all just with the travel? But in your case, you're going to Dallas. It's pretty damn hot there. I mean, you'll just walk outside, you'll probably lose 5 pounds.
I'm hoping that's the case. I mean, I've looked at the weather and we've had a massive heat wave over here for the summer, and it's starting to die down a bit now. But it's still quite hot, so I'm going to be going from nice normal heat here to, from what I can see, is going to be an insane amount of heat over there. I sweat like you wouldn't believe, so I'm going to have no problem cutting weight over there, I don't think. But I don't have to alter anything. I know exactly what I'm doing. I have weekly targets, weekly goals with my weight. I've been hitting them days early, so because of that, I've been able to really tailor my food a bit better to make sure I'm getting the most out of my sessions. It's all just come together really nicely, and it's been a massive help this time.
Who's going to be in your corner for this fight?
I've got my coach Dave, and I've also got my dad in my corner.
Excellent.
So it's just going to be.
That's good. And when are you arriving to Dallas?
We fly out on Sunday morning.
Oh, good. Okay, so you get like a full week then almost.
Yeah, I've got to be there for medicals on the Monday, so I think our flight gets in Dallas time like lunchtime on the Sunday. So we leave here at like 9 in the morning and then go back in time when we get there. So, which would be quite nice. Good week there to get settled.
How do you see this fight playing out on September 8th?
I just think it's going to be an exciting fight. I love putting on these entertaining fights. Diego is a great fighter and he likes doing the same. He has put on some of the best fights you will ever see in the sport, and I'd love to be a part of one of those with him. From what I've heard, it could be his last fight, or it's the last one in his contract, so whether it's a retirement fight or not, I don't know. But all I want from this fight is I want to go in there as the best Craig White and get the best Diego Sanchez. I want a motivated Diego Sanchez. I want a Diego Sanchez that wants to literally try and kill me, wants to smash my face in. I really want to put on a performance. I want to put on a fight for the fans. And I have no doubt that both of us are going to do that.
Before I let you go, obviously the plane ride, with the time change and everything like that, you got to find something to do. And I know a lot of fighters, they try and sleep. Sometimes it's tough. You might have a screaming baby next to you. You never know. What are you going to be doing on the airplane? What's sort of your go-to? Are you downloading podcasts? Are you watching a movie? What would I find you doing?
I still have an old school Game Boy. And
I have dude, you are speaking my language. I love the retro games.
I've got a brand new Pokemon game to play, and I say it's brand new, but it's Pokemon Silver, and I haven't played that in about 15 years.
Excellent.
So I've just brought one of them, and I've got the original Tetris as well, and I just go through that for hours and hours, just trying to like get the rockets and stuff, and all the little hidden things. But yeah, I do that. I'll watch some films if there's any good ones on, but I don't really know what's on at the moment. But yeah, if not, I might actually get some sleep because of getting up or flying at 9 in the morning, we've got to be at the airport nice and early. So I can kind of sag on my sleep a bit by having a bit of a worse sleep the night before and then sleep on the plane. And the minute we get to Dallas, I can be straight on normal time and I can get back into training, just get into the routine of it all.
You mentioned the Game Boy. Is this like an original Game Boy or is it the Game Boy Color? Which model is it?
I still have an original Game Boy, like the first
with the green screen.
Yeah, I've tended to move away from that because I've got one of the Game Boy Advance, the like flip ones.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah, those are easier to play.
That's what works for me. So, but yeah, I've still got the original Game Boy somewhere. Although it's fallen apart, like it's missing bits, the battery case is broken. Just what you'd expect for something that's probably as old as I am.
Yeah, no, it's like, and that's the problem now. A lot of these are breaking down, so they're trying to like, people are actually making like new versions of the old things. Like I see people like refurbishing Nintendos and things like that just to make them like last because they're not built to last, right?
No, they're not. But I mean, when you've got stuff that has cartridge games, like the cartridges are built to last longer than the console. So
yeah,
that's why. But some of those games, like I said, they're all retro and they're just great to play. And
they're easy. Like you can just go in and play them and you can, do 10, 15 minutes and you're good. It's not like you have to like, it's not like Fortnite or something. We have to commit like hours to actually getting good at it. Right. So.
No, not. And I've never even played Fortnite, so I'd probably be one of those people that's gone and just get completely killed, like to hell.
There you go. And speaking of killing, this is going to be a great fight. It's UFC 228. It's coming up here September 8th. Craig, it was great getting a chance to talk to you, man. Just remind people where they can find you on social media, and if you have any sponsors or shoutouts, the floor is yours.
Yeah, if you want to follow me on social media, I'm at the Thundercat, but it's TheThandrcat. Because all the vowels were taken to get actually the Thundercat. Sponsor-wise, just shout out to ISO Sport. They help me out with all my CBD stuff, some of the best products on the market, and with using them throughout my training camps definitely helps. It brings me to another level, helps my recovery. You've got Just Saying and Odin Athletics. They provide my clothing, so for anyone who likes anime stuff like Dragon Ball Z, you check out Just Saying. They've got some awesome Dragon Ball Z shorts. They've got a variety of other stuff. They're my main sponsors, and I've got a great load of support from others locally, like local gyms, local massage clinics and stuff. I get a lot of soft tissue work done. Just stuff to keep me ticking over, and the support I get from the local area and the sponsors I've had over the years that have stuck by me since the start. It's a big boost and it helps me keep going.
What's up, fight fans? If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to see even more interviews with your favorite UFC and Bellator fighters. We've also got coverage at events, including post-fight press conferences and media scrums. And if you like this video, check out the video to my right. It's worth your time.